Okay, here we are working on Rainbow. Today, just for the fun of it, we're going to talk about a possible variation on the bridge. I assume you're kind of still working on the song. But this is a fun variation, and what it's going to show you is another device that is used sometimes when creating arrangements. And what this one is going to more or less have is sort of a moving bass line in the chords. And it just kind of dresses up the song in a different way. And it's fun to play, and it'll acquaint you with the idea. So once again, we're talking about the bridge. The bridge is the part that goes. Etc. and so forth. So what I'll do is I will compare the measures as we go along. So what I have tabbed here is I have 5th fret of the D string, and then 2 open strings. And then with the first finger, I'm going to play that 3rd fret of the B string, like that. So that corresponds to the from the earlier arrangement. And then what I have is I go from 4 open open 3rd, 5 open open 3rd to 4. So I'm going from the ring finger to the middle finger. And then I use that first finger again to play the melody. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this middle finger down to the 2nd fret to play that 2 open open chord, and then use the pinky to play the 3rd fret, and then 3 open strings, and then you can use the pinky, or you could use the ring finger for that last 3 in that measure. So putting that measure together, you can listen. The main thing you want to do is listen for that descending bass line, which is on the D string. So that's what's happening in that first measure. So listen for that. Here we go. Again. Okay, so that's as compares to the original. Which is fine, but I'm sure you can hear that this adds a little movement to the sound. Then we get to the next measure. Now what I have there is I have an A minor 7, open 2, open 1. Then I'm using the pinky. And then the next chord I have is 2, open, open, 1. So that's a little dissonant when you just play that by itself. Just for that brief second when you strum that chord. But it's fleeting because once you put that pinky down, you eliminate the dissonance. And then from there, it goes 3, 2, open 1. That's just like a C chord. And then we have open 2, 1. So the bass line we have going in that measure, once again, if you focus on the lowest note in the tab, is open, 2, 3, open. So I want you to be kind of focused in on that bass line and be aware of what's going on there, because that's kind of the whole point of this. Open, 2, open, open. So if I just play the bass line through those top two measures, we have 5, 4, 5, 4, 2, open, open, 2, 3, open. So kind of key in on that. Maybe even play it that way, the way I just did, so you can kind of really get a sense of what's going on there. So now I'm going to play those top two measures. 3, 4. Pretty nice. I like that. I like the sound of that moving bass line. I'll play it again. 3, 4. Okay, then we get to the next line, and we have the. Now what I have in between those bass notes in between is, once again, just to keep that bass line moving. So we have the chord, 2nd fret, chord, 3rd fret, chord, 3rd fret, chord, and then the melody note. Okay? I'll play that line again. 2, 3, 3, and there's the melody note again. So I'll play those top two lines, 3, 4. Okay, then we get to the next measure, which is the same as the top measure. So I want to remind you on that fingering there, we have the 5, open, open, using the first finger for the melody, dropping down to the middle finger, first finger again for the melody, then we're just sliding that middle finger down to get that 3rd chord, 2, open, open, and then 3, open. I'm using my pinky there. As I said, you can use your 3rd finger. And then after that, we just go into this F sharp 7 chord again. And you can use the thumb if you want on the bass, or not if you have trouble grabbing that thumb. Okay, then we get to the B minor 7. Then I'm playing the open D. That's kind of the bass line again. 2, 1, 3, 2, and then I'm dropping the middle finger down to get a bass note. Then I'm sliding up to that little A minor chord, open 7, 5, 5, 5. And then I'm bringing my ring finger down to the 7th fret of the A string to play a bass note. And then I just slide that ring finger down and I play the final chord. And then a bass note. Okay, I'm going to play it from the 3rd line, 3, 4. Okay? I'm going to go back to the top and play the whole thing. 2, 3, 4. Back to the song. Okay? We'll get into adding some bass notes in there too. But this is a lot to work on. So let me kind of review some of the things to keep in mind when you're doing it. Once again, is that fingering, sliding that finger, or bringing it down. We get to the second measure. That's pretty straightforward. And we just lift that middle finger up to the C chord. Now I suppose when you get to the end of the second line, when you're playing that last 3, you could kind of play that last note with your first finger. Might be a good idea because that puts your hand back in position to start the third line, right? Then we get to the F sharp 7 chord. At the end of that measure in the third line, we have that open string. Right there. There you could kind of use that open string like we often do to get to the next chord. Bass note, chord, bass note, chord, bass note, chord, bass note. Okay? So those are some of the things you can watch out for. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it the original way and then play it this way just so you can hear the contrast, because I'm not saying one is better than the other. What I'm saying is that you have options here, and that's what makes it interesting. So the original way we played it, song, right? So that's that as compared to okay? So another thing, something that I watch out for while you're playing it, is when you're playing lines 2 and 4, where you have those chords followed by the bass notes, You want to try to play that in such a way so that the chords continue to ring while you're changing the bass note. So you play the chord. As I play that bass note, the chord is still going. Next chord, I play the next bass note, the chord is still ringing. Okay? And same thing in line 4. You have that B minor 7 chord, bass note, then as I go and play the next bass note, I'm holding the chord. Okay, playing the chord there, open 7, 5, 5, 5, and as I go to the bass note, I want to try to hold that chord down. Same with that final chord. Okay, so the question is, okay, so when do you play this? Well, you can play it in lieu of what we've already discussed for the bridge, or if you're playing the song twice through, then what you have is you have a variation so that the song doesn't sound the exact same when you play it the second time through, which is always a good thing to be able to do if you're going to be playing a song more than one time through. And as I said, it kind of introduces you to the idea of using this particular device to create a variation in the sound. So there you go. Add that to your list of things to do. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.